Good day, kings and queens. Actually, it's good evening because it's evening where I'm at. Welcome to another video. And here I had the black pieces. This was one for the tournament. And you probably can tell by the title, I actually lost this game. Spoiler alert. I was really not happy with this game. I don't know what happened. I was wasting time. I played passively, and my opponent played extremely well. He put pressure all the way until the end. I think he had about 90 something percent accuracy in this game, and like he played it effortlessly. So yeah, it was a pretty amazing game. Even though I lost, big ups to him. He played well. Nabil Kara, he's from Durban. Okay, but most of you probably don't know where Durban is. Anyway, let's get into the game. Started out with d4, I went knight f6. He played the London, bishop f4, right? So in my previous game, you would have seen that I played the anti-London with the lines d5, bishop f5, e6, bishop d6. Sort of even played it like in the Jobava London style with knight c6, castles, rook e8, 94, taking the bishop once it retreated to g3, all that stuff, all the stuff that is in the previous round. Actually, not the previous round two, I believe. So if you haven't watched that, I'd recommend that you go watch round three. But here I thought to myself, right, you know what, let's just play, let's just take it back home. Let's play what we used to, g6, right? King's Indian style. And then he goes c4. I immediately go d5 because this is just like playing d4, knight f6, c4, g6, bishop f4, d5, right? Just having this bishop tucked out of the pawn chain right here. Nothing special, really. But this is extremely playable, right? And another thing, usually once the bishop is tucked out of this pawn chain and it is left e2, and after white plays things like e3, these ideas of queen c5 and queen a5 or even b6, right, headed for the b2 pawn, are actually very good. They become good ideas. And that's what I actually have prepared against this line in the game. However, in the game, I chose not to go for that line. Me again, finding stuff in inspiration on the board, which is just not okay. I should stop doing that. And so he went e3. I went bishop g7, pretty standard. Knight c3, castles, knight f3. I played c6. Now right here I had to play. So c6, don't get me wrong, it's playable. It's very playable. But if you play this line c6, what black should do once bishop comes here, you can play like your bishop out to g4. Also, you can just take, which is actually what ended up happening in the game. You can just take, and after bishop here, taking just knight d7, and maybe c5 later, or e5. I don't know, but maybe even knight b6, and then again bishop g4. That's practically how you play this position, right? But me also, what I had initially prepared in this line is the move c5, right? And you might think that the pawn on c5 is hanging. It's not. It's not hanging at all. For example, if d takes, queen a5 hits the pawn, it pins this, right? Now, if white continues on his journey to gobble more material, like here, does this move knight e4, right? And look, these pawns are way too far advanced, and they're kind of soft. Like, black can actually equalize with not much trouble here, like without any trouble whatsoever, right? And I think also after c5, if cd, I think there's also just knight c6 if I'm not mistaken. Because e4 just loses a piece. Or I think also you can just kind of like mirror image capture, because the pawn on c5 is kind of like loose. Black can get the pawn back. Let's say takes, and then bishop takes, and then just knight b d7. You cannot, so just so you understand, this pawn cannot be pushed to g4 because of knight e4. Same idea, right? So this is playable, I think, even though Stockfish said white is slightly better. But anyway, yeah, that's what I should have gone for. However, I played d takes c4, bishop takes c4, and I went for this. Here I was supposed to just go knight b d7, sure, but I went for b5, bishop e2, still playable, but not so good. Then knight b d7, this was okay, but knight e5 was, it turned out that it was a blunder. I was just supposed to exchange into the knight and relax. So I played bishop b7, which was an okay move. Bishop a3 was also an inaccuracy for my opponent. But at this point, I even played a worse move. Okay, b4 was good, but I could have just gone queen, I think. Oh, sorry about that. I think just queen a5 or b6, I think, and just really chill and hang out. There's not really much going on. Actually, just queen b6 here. Yeah, just queen b6, and just relax. There's nothing much going on. Bring in my rook, maybe break with c5. That's what I was supposed to go for. But no, I wanted to play exotically. Like, I was just complicating stuff. I was just causing chaos on the board. Knight a4, best move. Queen a5 here was a blunder. A very, very serious blunder. I should have just chopped down the knight in e4, as you can tell by the evil bar. And now white is completely winning. And he's completely winning. This was just actually, this is not what I played, I believe. This is just an analysis. Actually, after knight a4, queen a5, I actually went for rook c8. This is what I played. This is actually the actual game. But this was also, it turned out, I think it was less worse than queen a5, but it was also just losing. The rook c8, then he took knight knight f d7, which is just knight d7. This was also okay. Bishop takes, king takes, knight c5, best move. Knight takes, best move. Rook takes, best move. I was just supposed to go bishop a6. And this sort of like, in fact, here, I think queen b6 here was still playable, if I'm not mistaken. But I went for some seriously odd lines. Yeah, this game took a very whole different turn of events. Here I played bishop a6, and the point was to just keep him from castling. And he played an inaccuracy, bishop e2. He could have just played queen c2, right? And just triple stack and don't really care about castling. I mean, there's nothing there really for black to play. I'm just suffocating. So he did not play that. Instead, after bishop a6, played bishop e2. I think here I played queen b6, which was fine, queen a4, which was fine. Taking was the best move, and king taking was the best move. Now, in order for me to untangle, the engine, as you can tell, this was a practically equal position, wanted me to sack this pawn this way, right? Because the pawn cannot take because the rook is hanging. So now, rook takes and then c5. Right, so this sort of like liberates the position. At least I have open lines because he has to spend like an extra move bringing this rook into the game, and his queen is cut on like offside here. This is why this position is almost equal for black, even though black is a pawn down. At high depth, Stockfish just says this is 0-0. So that's what I was supposed to go for. However, stubborn me, I played rook f d8, I mean, which is just bad. This is just losing. It's plus 1.5. Rook c1, and I mean, white's position is just playing itself, right? He was making these moves effortless. Now, here, so you understand, I cannot play rook d5 because that would hang the rook on c8. If I play like rook d6, it's an inaccuracy, but it's not really doing anything. Rook c4, rook b8, right, takes, queen b7, queen a6, queen d7. This was the best move. F3 was a great move. Here I was supposed to play, which I did play, queen f d5 was a good move. Queen c4 was an inaccuracy, but I went for queen g5, but the best move turns out was queen a4, hitting the pawn here. And if something like h3, I can't remember. There's just queen g5 hitting that pawn, and the idea is to sort of like kind of dance around, and then just soften up the structure here, right? white's kingside pawns, but like there's really nothing because this rook is coming in, that pawn is going to fall, that pawn is also looking suspicious. So there was not really much counterplay, but if there was a way to try to go for counterplay, this was definitely it. But I went for queen g5 here instead, and queen g5 is suboptimal. It's not good, as h5 both are practically losing moves because white is just winning and has a good position, but queen h5 was losing more slowly, you know, it was more resilient. And here again, believe it or not, this is going to be a recurring theme in these recaps, but I probably had like 4 minutes, 2 minutes. I was living on the increment actually at some point, I think round about here. I played this move on impulse, h5, bad move. Queen c5, offering a queen trade, best move. I played rook b5, which was also an inaccuracy. Yeah, I should have just chopped down the queen, but I just couldn't really find a way how to hold. I thought after queen takes, I think pawn should take. I think, yes. And then rook slides in here, and then king just marches in behind the pawn. And in fact, maybe even rook takes, right? Maybe even after queen takes, I think even just rook takes and chill, and keep this compact pawn structure here going on. And look, the only open file here belongs to white, and white is in amazing shape. This king is about to walk behind the rook, bully this pawn over here, and just march in basically with these pawns, right? Just march in. So I didn't really like this line, but turns out it was the most resilient instead of rook b5, which was just bad. And then queen takes, I missed this move. I was shocked when he played it. Rook takes, and then rook c5. I played king f6, trying to bring my king closer. He brought his king closer. Rook f5, excuse me, was also just bad. At this point, like, I sort of had thrown the towel, to be honest. I was just making moves. But yeah, from here on, I'm just gonna click forward. This was just losing. By the way, funny enough, these were still like the best moves. These were still the best moves up until here, queen h4 check. And yeah, there was no way I was gonna win this. King g4 takes, king here, checked me there, king g6. I still played on, you know, just for good sportsmanship. Queen f5, king g8. Actually, I didn't play on here. I resigned. I played on until here, which, but it was losing like from way back, right? From like here, it was already losing right from here after the rook exchange. So here I was just really playing on for like good sportsmanship sakes, right? And then this is what we have, and I resigned at king g4. Yeah, I resigned here. However, this is the engine continuation, just for those maybe that want to see. Yeah, this is how the engine says bully the other guy, but then this is just winning. This is just winning, right? So yeah, round 4 was the worst round ever. I feel like I threw this game. I was not even in the game. It was not even close positionally. It was just a disaster. And if you think round 4 was a disaster, wait until I upload round 5. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for checking out this recap. I'll check you in the next one, Kings and Queens. Until next time, cheers.